Howdy, I'm Jaxon. My partner for this video is Anthony. We're completing this activity as part of the Social Responsibility Core Curriculum Assessment, Dr. Robyler's Polls 207 course. We're going to view several political cartoons he has sent us and then discuss the cultural viewpoints and the values they express. I've been learning this semester about different political cartoons, different political cultures within the U.S. Because of differing priorities and values, these political culture groups wanted different policies to respond to social challenges in America. Today we're going to look at the hot button issue of immigration. I've also started learning about the 3P analysis tool that can help break down complex policy issues into important parts, principles, practicalities, and people. In this activity, we'll see those 3Ps and how they help us better understand how Americans think differently about undocumented illegal immigration. This picture is approaching America. What is the image picturing? What are the important aspects of the image? Is the image conveying a positive or negative message? Why do you say so? What are the principles behind this portrayal of immigration? What are some of the people-focused aspects on the image? What are the roles of hopes and dreams of American ideals? What do these arrival means for the senior age, for the children, for the parents? Does this image align more with political liberals, conservatives, or both? Why? Let's talk about it. Well, Anthony, I think this image is picturing the Statue of Liberty and people coming and immigrating. What do you think?
I think that also, yes, it's old.
I think it's also conveying a positive image because it's a sign of freedom, the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, definitely more conservative because freedom.
Yeah, and I think it's just like it portrays hope, kind of, for immigration.
Sure. Hope, and freedom.
People-focused aspects of this image. I mean, Statue of Liberty, there's ships, other people pointing. This guy in the back here is pointing at it.
They're stoked.
I think it aligns with both views, because I don't think anybody would be saying this is a negative image. You're a monster, if that's the case. Let's move on. This is Upset Uncle Sam. This image is picturing, just look like a port and a bunch of people. There's like a list. They're looking down at all the immigrants, I think that's what it is. They look kind of disheveled and mangy-ish. I think that's on purpose. I think this is more of a negative image that is being pictured here. What do you think? Positive or negative?
I think it's negative because Uncle Sam is pissed off that those mangy-looking people are there, and the Statue of Liberty is back there.
Yeah. What are the principles behind this portrayal of immigration? Foreigners are to be feared. Three other principles. I think there's like two sides. There's somebody that could be upset about this and be like, oh, infiltrating America, but then also at the same time, there could be hard workers that could help build and be a cornerstone for our democracy. What are some practical facts associated with immigration in the 1800s? What percentage of immigration do you think were threats to the U.S.? What are most immigrants likely coming to the U.S. then? Well, I know there's the potato famine in Ireland around this time period, so a bunch of Irish immigrants came, and I know they were a lot up north. That's again, like you got the Celtics and all the Boston Irish pride up there. There's a bunch of Asian immigrants that helped build the railroad, the transcontinental. What percentage of immigrants do you think were threats to the U.S.? I don't know. I mean,
very few in the 1800s.
Yeah, I'd probably say a low number. So this probably aligns more with conservative views, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Just this imagery here. Just move on. Nation of some sort of immigrants. We're the nation of legal immigrants. What is this image picturing? It looks like a screaming match or screaming expletives at people, like fighting.
They're doing graffiti.
Yeah, graffiti. I'd say this is a negative message again, just because the guys, it looks like he's screaming expletives. The red paint, it's very, I don't know, something about red. It just gets you going, if I'm being honest. What are the principles behind this portrayal of immigration? Follow rules and example. Like it's legal, or we technically are like immigrants from Europe, and like we built, and we could not be successful without immigrants. I think that's the argument they're trying to make here. What practical facts matter here? Do you know that most potential immigrants today could never come legally due to the rules and quotas? Were the rules and processes for entering the U.S. during the first 150 years comparable to the rules and processes today? I don't know about the different rules from 150 years ago to today. If I'm being honest, as far as I know about immigration, I know you have to take tests, and I don't really know all the nitty gritty of it. Do you?
No.
But I did not know that most potential immigrants today could never come legally due to the rules and quotas. I know there's a lot of people, and it's a long process. I think this aligns with kind of both point of views in a way, because I think we could all agree upon the legal immigrants, regardless of what political party you stand by. Walls or knots? Yeah, so this is two people arguing with signs. One says, build the wall. The man holding the sign says they may frown on that logic, but at the pearl gates, it was I think it's alluding to heaven with that one. The woman screaming, says a physical barrier that lets some people in and excludes others is inhumane and immoral. Again, a negative message just because they're screaming, and it seems to be like an argument or something. What would you say?
Yeah, I agree.
What are principles behind this portrayal of immigration? I agree that national boundaries matter. You can't just have anybody coming in and out. I mean, what other countries or provinces and whatnot have just open borders? And it's too much. You have to have some kind of order there, in my opinion. And I don't think that building something that keeps out other people, like such as a wall, is inhumane and immoral. Personally, what about yourself?
We're responsible over taking care of our own country, so no, not inhumane or immoral.
I can get behind that. What are the practical facts of the matter here? Is there a modern nation that doesn't prioritize border control? Oh, we're just saying that. I don't know.
No.
Oh, not to my knowledge. How effective are walls in stopping uncontrolled immigration? I'm not too sure. I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way. Something is inevitable. People are going to come regardless. I think this is both parties, conservative and liberals. Because, I mean, you got the one guy saying build the wall, and the other one's obviously liberal or more left, and the guy on the side is conservative. They're arguing. You see that all the time. Let's move on, shall we? Yes. I love this one. This was so good. We'll call this picture Wall Regrets. It's picturing the Mayflower and the Indians saying that they should have built a wall to keep us out. This is a negative message. I'd agree with you.
I think it'd go either way, because if you think about it now, they lost all their land and stuff, got taken over by the settlers or the immigrants.
It's true. I think it could be both ways.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So it might be a warning saying, hey, build the wall. But also, just trying to be.
Yeah, very insightful. I agree. Or the principles behind this portrayal of immigration, for example, might makes right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, realistically, it'd be dumb. You can't build a wall along the whole coastline. You can't do that. But this is a tricky one. If I'm being honest, what are some principles behind this, you think?
I'm not too sure. I don't know what principles.
I think it's going for, like, think about what America is today. I mean, if they built a wall, we wouldn't be here.
Inclusion.
Yeah. And I think it's just alluding to,
Yeah,
we won't be where we're going to be in the future if we don't have immigrants and stuff like that. I think that's what it's getting at. Were people-oriented issues here? Were Native peoples deserving of this mistreatment? No. No, they were not. Were European arrivals deserving of a new start in this already occupied land?
yeah.
At the same time, people fight all the time. Tribes fought other tribes and did horrible things to their opposing tribes, like women and children and stuff like that. I'm not saying they deserved it, but the Indians weren't necessarily great people. There was cannibal tribes, as we know. Yeah, messed up with the mistreatment, but
I think depending.
conquering is inevitable in life. It's happened many times since the beginning of time.
I think depending on how you look at it, it could be conservative or liberal.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
Cool. Jesus.
This is law of labor, supply and demand. What is the image picturing? What are the important aspects of this image? It's a wall, and then just like apply within. We're full. Oh, it's Trump with a golf club, and it's just signs saying like help, hiring, openings, apply today. It's a negative message painting Trump badly with the wall and immigration and whatnot. You just say the same thing.
Yep.
The principles behind this. For example, demand always precedes supply. Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand that from an economic standpoint. I'm not really too sure what other principles there could be. What are practical facts here? How dependent the U.S. economy and labor from the immigrants that some want to keep out. Again, I think what the problem here is, I think people, when you say immigrants just want to come legally and we just have changes to the system they immigrate, I don't think you're saying no immigrants necessarily, just the illegal. Because then you have, of course, bad batches that come with that, such as like MS-13 gang members and whatnot. This is definitely liberal point of view, just because it's
Mocking Trump.
mocking Trump, making him look like a little baby man or something like that.
Yeah. Super fat.
Okay, this is no compromise. Image points to present the problem. Political parties grandstand instead of rolling up their sleeves, working out compromise, and renovating our broken immigration system. There's more to this issue than wall or no wall. Based on previous slides on what you know, summarize the position on illegal immigration on both sides, conservative and liberal.
Conservatives want immigration control and a strong cutback on illegal immigration, and the liberal stance is that we should just
have open borders and just let people in. And if you say otherwise, you're a racist and a bigot, and that you hate life as it is, which is not the case. For, I would say, 98% of people.
Okay.
While the principles espoused by each side often seem incompatible with most Americans, don't understand the practical facts. They also don't understand till they know an illegal immigrant, so have few, if any, people-oriented impacts. Okay. All right, last slide right here. This is a screenshot of just many resources. Look, scan this and identify 2 items that highlight 2 different areas where you think that a compromise could be as possible between liberals and conservatives. A compromise is a decision. Okay, we know what a compromise is. Item 1. Immigration rights, probably, and economic impact. I think we could all get behind that. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah.
Pick those because everybody can get behind economic impact. I mean, if more people in the workforce, that does help. And then immigration rights and like helping and making it easier to immigrate. I think we can find a common ground there.
Yeah. Probably law enforcement too, because you can't enforce laws on people that aren't citizens. Really, it's kind of hard.
It's also true. Maybe a good possible compromise for each as good as first to work towards policy that doesn't toward a policy that does some of what each side wants.
Make it easier for people to immigrate, but still put up physical barriers.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.